Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use Quizlet, which is a really helpful tool that any subject area can use. To access Quizlet, all you need to do is type in Quizlet into Google search or any other search engine, uh, or you can go to Quizlet.com. And once you get there, uh, it looks a lot like this. Now, Quizlet is a tool that any subject area can use. It's a way of creating a online quiz to test your students or to uh, help review for any quizzes or tests that you may have coming up that you would like your students to study for. So to access Quizlet, let me show you real quick. I'll go ahead and log out because I currently already have an account. And so obviously if you were going to access this for the very first time, you would need to just click on sign up. You need to put in your birth date, create a username, an email, and password. You'd click on agree to terms of service, and then it would ask you if you were an educator or a teacher, and you'd click yes and click sign up. They also have, this is a free resource that you can use. However, if you wanted to upgrade to gain additional resources, you can sign up for that at extra cost. But for right now, I'm just going to show you the free version. So once you set up an account, obviously you would just go to log in. I'll type in my username and password. So, and it pops up, this is the screen that you'll see once you access it. And it's very simple. Over here on the left, you'll see something called create a set. This is where if you click on that, you can enter terms and concepts that you would like your students to study. So I had one started, so let me go and click on it. Since I'm an English teacher, it would make sense for me to, for example, to have my students study different literary terms. So the set title that they would study, I would type in literary terms, and then here on this lower region, I'd go ahead and type in the terms and the definitions. So, and you can change it from different languages. So if you teach Spanish, you can put it in Spanish, or French if you teach French, or any other language. But for today, let's keep it as English. So for instance, let's say one term I wanted my students to study is the term simile. Now, I could type in the definition that I want them to know and learn here. Or if I wanted to, I have some options over here on the right. On the right, I can add an image if I want them to associate the term to an image. Or also I can add my own voice recording of me reading the term to them. Or I can auto-define. And so instead of me typing my own definition, let me click on auto-define. And these are some different options that pop up. And so for a very simple definition, I'm going to click on the third or fourth option, which is a comparison of two unlike things using like or as. And that is the definition that I would want my students to associate with the term simile. For the next one, let me type in metaphor. Okay, and once again, let me find a definition. Figure of speech comparing two different things. A comparison that establishes a figurative identity between objects being compared. That seems a little complex, maybe a little confusing for students that I teach, so I would move on to the next one. A figure of speech where the expression is used to refer to something that is not literally denote in order to suggest similarity. And I like this one, a comparison of two unlike things without using the word alike or as. Um, and you can go on and add and continue to add on. So my next term, I can make it personification. Don't know why that keeps happening. There we go. Auto-define as well. There we go. Figure of speech in which an object or animal is given human feelings, thoughts, or attitudes. And just for the sake of this demonstration, I'll go ahead and add one more. Let, let's do illusion, even though go over here, auto-define that. There we go. Reference to a well-known person, place, event, or work of art. Okay, so let me go ahead and I can also, if I would like, add a picture. So there are some options here. It would be up to you to figure out what's best to associate with that. None of the, I personally do not want to choose any pictures for this today, so I'm going to just go to create. Okay. All right. And so here are my terms. Here are my definitions. Okay. And once you have created that, you have some options up here. It's cut off a little bit here, but this is flashcards. You can create flashcards for a review if you would like. Speller, this will help them improve the spelling. Okay. Space race, personally haven't used that one. Scatter, where it would mix these up and force them to study it. Or you can give them a test if you would like to, as maybe a take-home test or an online test for them. Right here is where you would add classes. So if you're familiar with Edmodo, it's very similar to that resource. You can add classes and add folders. So let's just say I want to use flashcards to help my students study. And this is basically what it would look like. This is an app they can also download to their phone, which is very helpful. And they may actually get more use out of that. As students today, most students have a phone or a smartphone with them, so they can just download the free app and they could study their terms for whatever class they may be in. So for instance, simile, comparison of two unlike things using like or as. And as you can see, it looks like a note card. All right, so maybe you practiced this in your class. You may give them note cards this way. It's paper free, something they can study. It's very easy. Metaphor, a figure of speech in which an object or animal is given. All right. You can shuffle it so it's out of order, so they don't get used to doing it their way. You can turn on the audio, and it will actually read it for them. So illusion. So as you can see, that would be very helpful for some students to have certain accommodations that may really benefit them in terms of learning difficult or complex terms for whatever class they're in. The motion, flow, this changes just the way it looks as it's presented to them. So never personally used that one before. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it. All right. So, if you wanted to give them a test, you can simply click on test, and it quizzes them, which is really great. It'd be a true-false question, a multiple choice question, two written questions. And over here on the right, this is where you can determine what kind of questions you want to ask them. If you want it to be more simplified, it could be just true or false, or something they're more likely to see on a test, such as multiple choice or matching. Or if you want to make it a little more challenging, they actually have to write out the answer. And once again, you can set it up that way, and they can check their answers. So down here, this little bar is cut off, I think, on the recording, but check their answers. They get to see how they did. Did they get them right? Did they get them wrong? They can print the test and bring it in to you as the teacher if you wanted that to be proof that they've studied. That can be taken as a grade. So as you can see, Quizlet, which is a free resource for educators or anyone in general, is something I think that could be very useful in the classroom. It's a piece of technology that I do use. I haven't this year, but this is something I plan on using next year, and I think it is adaptable to any classroom. So just in case you have not heard of it, or maybe you heard of it and haven't used it, hopefully this tutorial shows you that it's a pretty simple tool. It's not something you should be afraid of. It's not too complex, and maybe you could find use for it in your classroom. Other than that, I think that closes it for today. Thank you for watching my short tutorial on Quizlet.com.